Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI. Today we're going to talk about goaltending, which we know you like updates, and we've been watching Victor Brattstrom in net for the Griffins the past few weeks and the past few games he's been playing. We're going to talk about other goalies that aren't right now in our Griffins system or the Detroit system, but they have been drafted, so we're going to update you on them based on what we see. Keep in mind that goaltending development is a longer time period, at least in our experience and what we've seen. We've not been told it's a longer time period, but
it comes with our expertise.
Yes.
Years in the business.
So it's a longer development period, which is why you see guys who have been drafted a little later than you would expect, who are still in the developmental process of the not being with the Griffins yet. You get what I'm saying. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, so we're going to talk a little bit about that today and ultimately end with a update on Victor Brattstrom, who is our current goaltender with the Griffins, who is most recently in our system.
I like that.
Let's go.
Jesper Eliasson, first and foremost. Drafted
Names.
Important dates. Drafted in 2018. He's currently over in Sweden with the SHL. Kind of uncertain where he's going to land right now. He was drafted the same year as Brattstrom, so, kind of keep that in mind. Not really sure what's going on with him as far as his future goes. 2019 draft pick was Carter Gylander. He is doing pretty well. He's currently at Colgate University. He's been there for this is his second season. He'll probably finish his full 4 seasons before Detroit figures out what to do with him.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, teams have, if they go to college, they have that 4 years to decide whether or not they want to maintain them or not. Jan Bednar was drafted in 2020, the silly season, is currently in the QMJHL. He's holding a .903 save percentage in 27 games played, so he's doing pretty well there right now. That is a major junior team, so not quite there yet, but really good numbers. And then most recently was 2021 Sebastian Cossa. He's with the WHL, and in 37 games played, he has a .913 save percentage. It is good to note the Wings did sign him to an ELC, so an entry-level contract, but that does not take effect until they pull him over, so they have until his contract is up with the WHL to decide what to do with him.
Yeah. So what does this all mean? What are all these numbers? This basically is just kind of here's where our goaltending situation is now. Right now we've got Calvin Pickard and Victor Brattstrom tag teaming it in Grand Rapids. We've got Grice and Nedeljkovic. I almost forgot his name. Nedeljkovic up in Detroit tag teaming it up there. So basically, in Detroit, we don't have any of our drafted guys. Ideally, you want to see the guys that you draft to start becoming something, kind of like the Siders and the Raymonds and the Velenos of the world. You want to see them become something. And so, ideally, we'd like to see, of course, Brattstrom make it to the Red Wings. We'd like to see, Cossa, of course. I think he's probably the one that everybody's the most excited about. Maybe because it's the most recent, but also because he's very talented.
Yep.
So we're excited to see him coming up. But right now, we've been watching Victor Brattstrom a little more, just because if you go back a couple of months and watch our first video, I think, that we did on Brattstrom when he started to play, he was shaky. It was
rough.
It was rough to watch because they're drafted, that they've got the talent, that they have the ability, but to see it start to play out and to see them get their comfort level can sometimes be a little hard to watch just because it takes a little bit sometimes. And for Brattstrom, it did take a little bit, but I'm very thankful to let you know that he is doing much better.
Yeah.
That's not the end of the video. He's doing great.
That's a thumbs up if you like it. To kind of put it in perspective, Brattstrom has only started in 14 games with Grand Rapids. He did have a 3-game stint in Toledo as well for conditioning. Like Janae said, he got off to a rough start. I think he was a little bit above 5 goals against per game. He
didn't win the first few starts that he started.
Yeah, he looked, I guess, maybe nervous, or he played like he was nervous. And, of course, there's a lot of factors. The team in front
I was going to say, it doesn't always mean he played poorly.
There was definitely some games where it was not him entirely. But to kind of put it into numbers almost, so he's had 803 minutes of playtime this season, whereas Pickard, he's been the number one gun. He's at 2,203 minutes. So Brattstrom is obviously not getting as many starts, and a lot of that is it's very tight right now. We're trying to make a playoff push. The coaching staff is making decisions based on how we're going to get there.
Well, based on basically game day decisions, I feel like goaltending is usually like who's been practicing?
Flip a coin.
Who's been practicing harder? Who can we get in net? Who's gonna, who's on it tonight? Who's gonna get us the win?
And it's not a knock at Brattstrom's ability, but in these situations, you want that veteran mindset, and Brattstrom's not quite there yet.
Think of it. His first North American season, basically.
Yeah.
This is very important to note as well, is that he's just starting to get used to it, I would say, but it's not a lack of confidence, and that's something that you can't really teach. So Brattstrom comes into it with a whole lot of confidence. He knows he can win. He knows that he's got the skill, And even if the guys in front of him don't do their job, he knows and is confident in his ability. And that, again, is something you can't teach. That's something that if you have that in a goalie, it's very important. It's very good.
And he beat down a lot.
He also seems to have a good attitude. I mean, the past game, he just, before this was filmed, he just got a shutout. His first shutout, first AHL shutout, I should say. And he did like a flip on the ice because he was a star. I mean, I think that just speaks to his personality. It speaks to his attitude. He was... I mean, it was great to see.
He's a fun-loving guy, and that's one thing that has been consistent. Even those games that, I've watched in the post-game interviews where he has gotten the crap kicked out of him, essentially. And, he still has a good way and a good mindset of approaching it. Like, you know what, I can do better, and, I trust the guys and all that. So he's maintaining a very level attitude, which is very important, especially through development.
I think so.
But his style has also been working on translating. Now, over in Europe, and in previous videos, too, we mentioned this long before he got here, where he has a very active athletic style. He likes to play the puck. He likes to communicate. He likes to come out. It's different in Europe. Bigger ice, slower game. That's what it comes down to. And here, I think it was a shock how fast things went. But now it seems like he's been able to adapt to that and be able to translate his game to the American League.
Yeah, and the whole playing the puck. The one thing about Brattstrom that we've witnessed is that he's teachable and that he's patient. He doesn't, even if he's not doing well, he doesn't let it get him down even more. A few seasons ago, I remember when we had Jared Careau in with the Griffins, even to win the Calder Cup, if he was having a bad game, you knew it. His whole demeanor changed, his whole attitude. And I feel like if you don't have your control over that kind of, character in yourself, it's going to be hard for you to snap out of it and save the next pucks, So I think the teachable moment comes, Brattstrom right now is under one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best AHL goalies that we've got.
Calvin Pickard.
Which would be Calvin Pickard. And Pickard is a great teacher. He's also very teachable and patient, and he's a huge competitor.
Yeah.
And so I think it only helps Brattstrom to be in tandem with a goalie like that because you're competing against each other. You both want the start, but it's, all in good fun. It's all a matter of winning in the game at hand. And I think Pickard plays the puck really well, so if that kind of can translate to Brattstrom as well to help him with that, and it already has, I haven't seen major hiccups in Brattstrom playing the puck in quite a few games.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important because as a goalie, if you can get possession for your team by going behind the net, getting the puck for your guy, that's going to be great.
Well, and not making decisions under duress. You see a lot of goalies, especially the newer ones, where they're trying to battle between, okay, do I freeze the puck? Do I play it out? Those kind of decisions could change the course of a game.
100%.
So understand, where the face-off ends up, if your guys can even get it, if you accidentally play it to the wrong guy, that kind of stuff happens. So
we've seen it.
We've seen it so much.
No, not him. Why'd you do that?
Wrong guy, wrong jersey. But just him being able to learn how to do that effectively has been great, and that's something that it is part of his game already. And like Janae mentioned, Pickard and him, even in practice, he even said that Pickard is incredibly competitive in practice. He wants to win in practice.
Yeah.
And so he loves that because he
and
feels
that's a character thing.
Yeah, and he
that's
feels like
Pickard as himself thing, not just like a be this way just so you can play.
It's just to win.
Yeah, and that's a great. That's a great. I don't know. It just translates into your game. I think when that happens. Right. So theoretically, for me, the future of Brattstrom would be at least a season or two out, maybe a season. It depends, of course, on how quickly he develops. How quickly. So far, this season has been slower. Of a development. But what is great is that you see development from the first game he played to now. He's locked in. Yep. And I'm so happy about that because the first game was kind of like, what are you doing? What's happening? And I'm sure for him too, kind of like, I know I'm better than this. Yes. Like, this is not how I play. So I'm just glad to see, it's great to see development.
Yeah. And with him, and you can tell too with how he plays, he does play confidently, but like when he got his first AHL shutout, that's a big deal to
be in his first season. That's great too.
Yeah, and it's huge for him, and the team's excited for him, and that's something that they feed off of. So when the team's playing well, he's playing well. Obviously, everybody plays well. Yeah. But to know that his team can depend on him, I think for him specifically, that means a lot to him. He seems like a very internal kind of guy, but very much a team player. He's not like a one-man army kind of deal, which I think with goaltenders sometimes you can find that where it's like, oh, it's all down to me, and sometimes the teams make it to where that's the only option. Yeah. But so far, Brattstrom, I think you're right, another season or two easily, and it depends on how Cossa pushes him too. How that ends up playing out in the next season. So
yeah, because I definitely expect Cossa to come over soon. If not him, Bednar. Like I'm interested. It's always hard to know basically what moves they'll make to get to the Griffins or the Red Wings. If it's not right from drafting, it's hard to know. Or if they don't have a team
on
already.
What happens up top too. Yeah, how that goes.
Yeah, so basically that's kind of our update on Brattstrom and, just kind of letting you know where the other goalies in our system are. Of course, it's another draft year, so we'll probably get
another one.
But yeah, let us know in the comments if you've been watching Brattstrom or if you've kept an eye on any of these other goalies that we mentioned today.
And good work on his part. Excellent.
Yeah,
it's been really cool to see him grow.
So far, the Griffins still have to push to get to the playoffs. They are allowing 5 out of 7 teams in our division to go to the playoffs, and right now I believe we're out of that.
Just barely. We can do it.
Every game is monstrously important, which is a scary place to be in, but
yay for competition.
So yeah, we will see you guys next time. Again, let us know in the comments. Subscribe. We forgot again.
Oh, you forgot. You do the intro.
Subscribe, like, comment, share. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.